Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Shining Force. I'm Craig Stern, and I'm so excited to be showing you the beginning of Chapter 5, the noun of adjective noun. As, in fact, pretty much all the chapters are. There's a noun, and then it's of the, and then there's an adjective, and then a noun. That's just how it goes. Not just in Shining Force, of course, but in fantasy in general. They just love that structure. So as you can see, where we last left off, we were on a ship, which is surrounded by monsters, and we have to defend it. As you can see, there are some unique enemies that we have not seen before in the game. Before we go into this battle, though, I am going to retreat downstairs and get Gort resurrected by our ship priest, who's just hanging out here in this entirely empty room. I feel a little bad for him. That can't be the most comfortable place to hang out. I don't even see a chair in there, much less the usual pulpit. But the priest doesn't seem to mind. Can you help in some other way? Oh, you've done quite enough, Father. Oh, look, and it's headquarters. I actually do want to do a little bit of swapping out here. I've decided, you know, I don't think I want to keep Valboroi on my team. He's just not doing well right now. And I don't have the patience, quite frankly, to be babying him at this point. Not when I have other people who I can put in my team who will be able to start kicking butt right from the get-go. I'm not sure who I want to actually put on my team. Gunts might be a good choice. However, I think I'm going to put Lo back on the team. This is the part I was telling you about where I needed someone with detox. And Lo happens to be that guy. I will be recruiting yet more characters later on, and when I do, I will be replacing Lo with those characters. That's just how it goes. I do like Ernest. As I've said, I have used him in previous walkthroughs, or playthroughs, I guess I should say. But I didn't get him a power spear. I didn't even realize he would be coming with a bronze lance, of all things. So, he's not really in fighting condition right now. It's possible I could put him on the team later. I don't know if that's going to happen. There are other people who I recruit later on who might actually be better candidates for inclusion. We'll just have to see how it goes. For now, though, a fair number of those enemies can poison your characters, particularly the giant green shell creatures. So it's important to have someone with the detox spell. And in this case, that happens to be Lo. So we are going to keep him around because he's just so good at dealing with poison. And as you can see, I just did a quick little save state, you know, just in case. So these things, shellfish, as you can see, they have pretty high defense, pretty high attack. They're comparable, actually, to skeletons in most regards in terms of their stats, but with higher hit points and the ability to poison your characters. These guys, conchs, are basically crummier shellfish. They don't deal as much damage, their defense is slightly lower, lower agility, lower hit points, and I don't believe the conchs can poison you. The sea bats make a return, and Pegasus Knights are back on the field once again. Interesting fact, Pegasus Knights actually have better stats than sea bats. The only thing they don't have as high in terms of their stats is hit points. Their attack is 21, defense is 16. Sea bats, by contrast, attack 20, defense 14. Just not as good overall, but for those 4 extra hit points they have. And of course, their uncanny ability to put your guys to sleep, seemingly for no reason. So anyway, we are going to... hopefully, let's see. I need to decide where I want to make my stand here. Flying enemies, can I believe? I'm not sure if they can get through this area. I guess I'll find that out shortly. But I know these guys can come in through here. That guy obviously will be going through there. And these guys are already heading in via this direction. The obvious place to hole up and hold off the attack is this area right here, where you start. However, that's absolutely no fun at all, so I'm going to send Xylo over here to try to prevent the conch and the shellfish from streaming in through that gap there. Oh yeah, look at that. Flying characters can move over all of these spaces. Those aren't walls at all. So, I'm going to need to have Domingo and Kokichi working double time to hold off all these flying attackers. Is that a thing? Working double time? Maybe it's just working overtime. Well, whatever. Look at that conch. That thing is hideous. One thing I never quite understood about conchs is their attack. Looks like they're, if you look closely when they hit, it looks like they're flinging some kind of a missile at your characters. It's sort of strange. And May is just having none of it. She is completely unimpressed by that conch. Just knocks it right out of the sky. Well, it's not in the sky, but whatever. She knocks it out. Taking none of its guff, as they say. Ken, I think I'm going to have stick around. Well, I'm going to have him over here. I'm going to have him help out Kokichi and Domingo, and holding off these sea bats that are coming from the left. I really hope this isn't going to be one of those battles where every other attack misses, but it's kind of hard to avoid when you're dealing with sea bats and Pegasus Knights. Oh, of course, he doesn't have magic. He just has an item that is magic. Oh good, Court leveled up. Nice speed increase there. Little hit point increase. Not the greatest level up I've ever seen, but it will help. So I'm not gonna complain. Buffont, I kinda wanna... I need to leave some fighters up here to help defend, because, there are a lot of flying creatures coming my way. Play this. Because Ken and Kokichi can't hold off all those sea bats alone. That's a lot of sea bats. I think I might send Domingo this way and have him use his ice-cold magic on the bats. That was cold, Domingo. That was cold. And that's how we like it. Alright, how are these guys doing? 13. Might make... See, I'd really like to finish off this shellfish as quickly as possible, but it might not be feasible for me to do that at this point. Particularly with more of these guys coming up this way. These guys coming from this direction. I don't want to split my forces too much, It would be nice if I could have Xylo weaken that conch, and have Gort maybe finish it off with a Blaze too, that also hits the Shellfish. But I think what I'm going to have to do is just pull back for now. My healers are just too exposed at this point. Haha, Domingo. How I love Domingo. Evading like it's his job. Oh, nice, nice, nice. That is a solid hit from Ken. Taking down that Seabat from 14 hit points to nothing. One thing I love about this game, and about Domingo specifically, is that he has excellent defense, and yet enemies are obsessed with attacking him. Domingo is second only to Bouffant in terms of how much the enemies want to kill him. They just hate Domingo. And because he has such high defense, I'm actually perfectly okay with that. It basically means a bunch of enemies are going to waste their time. It also suggests to me that the AI programmers were well aware of just how freaking awesome Domingo is. The stunning attack deals 5 points of damage to Bouffant. As you can see, Bouffant is doing quite well right now. After a couple of really fantastic level ups. Level ups? I guess that's a thing. Woohoo! Nice one, Gort. Well, let's see if Kokichi can... Oh, I don't think he's going to finish the job on that one. Let's move him here. Hopefully shore up the line a little. Ooh, he doesn't quite finish that Seabat, but he comes awfully close. Gort should be able to take these attacks. Oh no, the conch's poison too. I didn't even realize that. That's bad news. Alright. Man, where do I start? I want to kill both of them. How about... I think I'll start with the Pegasus Knight. I have slightly more faith in Bouffant's ability to finish that one off than I do in his ability to finish off the Seabat. Oh, you know who needs healing more is Gort. Although... Yeah, I'll have her heal Gort. Lo can come in with the detox. And Gong. I'll put Gong in charge of keeping Bouffant alive for the time being. Meanwhile, those Seabats are just absolutely intent on killing Domingo. It's almost Balbaroian in its dimensions, their hatred for him. Oh, that was a nice hit from Gong. I know I said I was going to have him heal Bouffant, but I think Bouffant's actually doing okay right now. I'm not too worried about him. Maybe I'll have Lo heal him. Gort needs to get his defense back up. Hopefully he'll gain a level or two soon. And he's gonna make it happen. Ah, crap, more poison. You know what I don't like, folks? Getting poisoned. It's just no fun for anyone. And we'll have Domingo take out one of these sea bats. That'll give him at least one more turn. Attack increases by 2. Defense increases by 4! Domingo is already turning into a flying fortress. I love it. Hit points increased by 5! Holy cow! Ah, God, I love Domingo. I know I say that, like, constantly, but it's true. He's just a great character. Ah. Man, I love it when Bouffant attacks twice after someone evades. And he does it with surprising regularity. You know, I think Dao should be able to finish off this Pegasus Knight with the Blaze too. Let's give it a try. And indeed she does. Thank goodness for that. I cannot have my forces split anymore. Oh, heck yes. Dao just learned Blaze level 3. Unfortunately, Blaze level 3 isn't actually all that different from Blaze level 2. It's basically exactly the same, except that it deals more damage. And you know, I'm not one to complain about more damage. I mean, more damage is more damage, am I right? It's a good thing. But it's not like the difference between Freeze level 2 and Freeze level 3. You know, it's not like you're talking about the difference between, you know, like the range you see there and an entire extra space in every direction. Mainly it's just a difference in how much damage it deals. Alright, Henri's gonna finish off this conch. And Xylo will be helping out Gort with this incredibly shellfish enemy. I apologize for that pun, folks. That was totally uncalled for. I would greatly prefer it if Gort did not die. So I'm going to do my best to make sure that he doesn't. By the way, you might notice, when healers heal different characters, if a character is near death, they gain more experience points. Like, the base level experience you get for healing a character is 10 experience points. However, if the character is really low, it can get as high as, like, I think 18 experience points just for healing them, which is pretty impressive. They leveled up again, but not a very impressive level up. Ah, you lousy... How does something that big and encased in a hard shell evade anything? That's my question for the day. I think Chris should be able to finish this guy. And indeed she does. Nicely done, Chris. And it's a level up for her. With a nice little defense increase, good speed increase, hit point increase, magic point increase, and she learns quick. That is a handy, handy buff, and I am going to be using it. I'm not sure when I'm going to be using it, but, you know, at some point. If I recall correctly, I believe Quick not only increases a unit's defense, I think it also increases a unit's... I'm sorry, not only increases a unit's agility, I believe it also increases a unit's defense, which is extremely useful when you have characters that are vulnerable due to low defense. I'm looking at you, Ken. But also Gort at this point. Gort really needs a good little defense boost. Lo, once again, just out of range in order to heal Gort of his poison. May can last a little bit longer, so I'm not too worried just yet. Shellfish, once again, going for an attack against May, even though he can barely even damage her. Don't quite understand the reasoning there, but that's just the way this game wants to play it. So I guess that we will play along. Alright, Ken, show this Seabat who's boss. Okay, I guess the Seabat's boss. Duly noted. Nah, that's not true, folks. Domingo's boss. But we already knew that, didn't we? What is Domingo's defense now? 19. And May's defense? 20. I still don't understand why they have him say to keep him off the front line. He's almost impervious to damage once you've leveled him, even just a couple of levels in this game. He's basically a flying tank. Who is also a mage. In other words, he's kind of the best character ever. I thought someone... Oh, of course, Domingo needs healing. Not that he's ever going to die in this battle, now that he has, like, a gajillion defense, but he is still hurt. And if nothing else, that's more experience points for Chris. Gong, actually, could probably help out with this this shellfish here. But I think maybe I'll feed him to Kokichi. And Kokichi's level 12. Little defense increase, nice little speed increase there. Very good. Alright, Gort, you stay right here, so Lo can detox you. Can get you off your poison addiction. As you can see, Detox doesn't summon the Dandruff Fairy, it summons a magical Dandruff Orb, which purges all traces of poison from the recipient's body. I don't understand exactly what it is or what it's doing, but I guess it's no weirder than the whole Dandruff Fairy thing, so why question it? Alright, Chris, I guess you're going to stay here and heal May. At this point, folks, the battle is just a little bit of janitorial work. All of the enemies are dead, except for, I believe, a couple of Pegasus Knights hanging out in the bottom right here. But even so, I want to heal my guys before we go down there and engage them. Because how embarrassing would that be if we went down there to take out 2 Pegasus Knights and we took casualties? The answer, pretty embarrassing. honestly, I don't know why they just sit there the whole battle. I assume they're scripted to only engage you if you move beyond a certain point on the battlefield. But given the fact that you're attacked almost immediately, and from multiple sides, I can't imagine why you would ever end up that far down the battlefield until the end of the battle. Yeah, that reminds me, Lo needs to detox Mei. Come on down, Ken. The whole crowd's waiting for you. And the Pegasus Knight has finally decided it's time to start doing something. Not his buddy, though. They've decided the one-at-a-time strategy is the best way to go. After all, a lone combatant is by far more effective against 13 enemies than 2 are. Just kidding, that's not true at all. It's just stupid AI, once again. Something that I think is interesting about Shining Force 2, not to get back on my Shining Force 2 kick again, but I'm going to talk about it for just a second, is the fact that in addition to having more aggressive enemy AI, they also have difficulty levels that are selectable at the start of the game. It's something I hadn't actually noticed was missing from Shining Force until I saw it in Shining Force 2, and I said, oh yeah! Because really, if you think about it, this game could use difficulty settings. It's pretty easy for the most part, other than a few battles in Chapter 2 that are really difficult. Simply, in my opinion, because they aren't that well balanced. Other than those battles, the game's pretty easy for the most part. Notwithstanding moments like that. I can only assume that the difficulty drops off so much because the creators were aware of what promotion does. I'm going to show you Blaze 3 for a second, by the way. That is absolutely going to kill this Pegasus Knight, but I just want you to see it. Look at that. Nice, big, meaty fireballs. As you can see, Blaze level 3 is basically identical to Blaze level 2, except it deals a little bit more damage. Up to 13. Which is what Freeze level 3 does. Except, you know, Freeze level 3 also gets that extra space of range, which makes it a gazillion times more useful. So, you know, while we're on the topic of balance issues, I don't know why they made that decision. Seems a little sketchy to me. There's a nice meaty blow from Gord. Almost called him Tort, as in like a kind of pastry. I don't know what that says about me. But yeah, I can only assume that they brought in all these relatively weak enemies to serve as the fodder in the battles in this chapter, because they figured you would be promoting your characters around this point, and that they would need to have relatively weak enemies in order to fight, and not be overwhelmed. But it just begs the question, why not have promotion not make your characters weaker, and just continue, you know, having the player fight tough enemies? It's just a very strange way to structure the game, is all I'm saying. I don't know why they decided to do that. I mean, I guess you could make the argument that, you know, it forces an interesting player decision, right, in trying to decide when to promote, because it's not necessarily to your advantage to promote a character. But at the same time, I mean, it just has such bad effects on game balance. I just can't really endorse the approach they took. Ah, a nice level up for Henri, and that will cap off the battle. Yeah, ship totally damaged in that battle. And there's a random mermaid. Note, by the way, how nothing happened in the course of that battle, which could even be remotely construed as damaging the ship. Well, except I guess for all those spells I cast. Yeah, maybe having Dao cast Blaze 3 on the deck of my own ship wasn't the best idea. Okay, fine. Point taken, Nova. We'll go repair the ship or whatever. And we're going to apparently follow a mermaid named Shell of Warl, who has apparently been listening to us complain about how our ship was damaged. Where is Nova, anyway? He's like way below decks. How is he even talking to me? That also begs the question of how the mermaid hurt him. He must have like a loudspeaker system or something. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are in Warl now, and that is all we have time for in this episode of Let's Play Shining Force. I hope you enjoyed watching me fight that incredibly thrilling sea battle. I know I enjoyed fighting it. And when we return, we will learn all about the tropical island nation of Warl, and about exciting topics such as our ship repairs. I know you're waiting with bated breath. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I will see you all next time.